Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Angoville. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. ZeFish, playing as the OKW forces in the red. And his opponent in the blue is going to be Mr. Lenny12346. Hashtag Burger Flipper. Playing as the Soviet forces in the blue. It looks like both players had actually just fought themselves previously. ZeFish saying that he's upset about the last game. It looks like ZeFish may have lost that one. As Burger Flipper, or actually Lenny, not sure why I said Burger Flipper, telling him that he made a mistake with the build. But anyway, so we see Lenny going right off the bat for tier 1, calling in a conscript squad and nothing else. We'll see. Oh, there we go. He starts building a penal battalion. Okay, so that's nice. I'm assuming we're probably going to see scout cars as well. I mean, that's pretty common. ZeFish, for his part, well, I mean, it's an OKW. OKW is not going to be getting any tech because, well, no. He goes for Volksgrenadiers and Volksgrenadiers, having 2 already out on the field. I can only assume that a third one will probably follow nearby. Now, I haven't had a chance to really cast a lot, as obviously you guys noticed, and I don't know how prevalent the truck pushing is. I know that it got nerfed heavily, supposedly, on the last patch. Do you now see no truck pushing at all, or is it just not worth it, or, you know, what's going on? I mean, we did used to see a lot of the truck out on the field very early on, but now, since it's very slow and such, you know, probably not. So, yeah, I mean, if you still see it, let me know. Anyways, ZeFish over here on the left-hand side, capping the fuel, laying down some sandbags right at the edge of the point, making sure that the cover is benefiting him while he catches or, captures the point. And, well, I mean, there's no opposition over there, so the Volks are able to build and cap at the same time without opposition. Over on the right-hand side, Lenny going for a very cheeky tactic, laying down barbed wire across the approach, making it so that ZeFish cannot go in this direction. There's still this little gap over here in the arch, and obviously the edge of the map over here. But he does have penal battalions in that direction to cover. Center map up in the northern cutoff point. I mean, this strategic point is a very critical cutoff for the resources on the left-hand side. For Lenny, if he was, you know, inclined, but right now, ZeFish is the one controlling. Penal Battalion, second one on the field for Lenny, engaging against the Volks. The Volks, well, they hold the line. More Volks and Storm Pyos get in their way, and even the combat engineers are forced to retreat as they were trying to lay down some more wire to be a little bit of an obstruction. The thing is that, well, I mean, ZeFish is now going ahead to build the Mechanized Regiment headquarters, but the thing is that, for example, this right here, the OKW don't really have that big of an issue with it because the truck is just going to crush it. So, yeah, something to keep in mind. Conscripts duking it out against Storm Pyos. The Storm Pyos will win that engagement, even though they have lost one of their members. Their Stormgewehr rifles at close range are going to do a lot of damage. Volksgrenadiers moving to intercept the conscripts. The conscripts Ura away. They are not retreating. They're going to stay themselves in the fight, although they just moved out of the way to get out of range of those assault rifles. And the penal battalion now in the center, getting flanked by 2 Volksgrenadiers and shot close up by Storm Pyo. Grenade goes off by Mr. ZeFish as he has selected the Scavenge Doctrine, although that doesn't really matter because it was a standard, you know, Model 24 grenade. But, yeah, he has selected the Scavenge Doctrine, so he will also have the ability for the Infiltration Grenade once he hits 3 command points. Sandbags over on the right-hand side, they were trying to get built, but they didn't, so the Volksgrenadiers shoot them down and explode the sandbags, because we all know that if you don't place a sandbag properly on top of the other sandbags, it can easily explode, so be careful at home when you're dealing with sandbags. Volksgrenadiers trying to hold the penal battalions. The penal battalions are far superior than the Volksgrenadiers. They close the distance, get some more kills, and force their retreat. The squads are quite fine. I mean, one of them is only down to 3, but yeah, they were not going to win that engagement. And Lenny being quite powerful, and he is, well, yeah, I mean, literally spamming penal battalions. He is now up to 4 penal battalions, no scout car in sight, and ZeFish has 4 Volksgrenadiers to fight a one-on-one and on a one-on-one against the penal battalions. Well, not gonna work for ZeFish, so he needs something else. Thankfully, though, he does have the Mechanized Regiment headquarters with a flag half-track coming into the field. The flag half-track is, or should work wonders against the penal battalions. Penal battalions don't have a lot in ways of anti-tank. They do have, obviously, the satchel charge, but the satchel charge does have a long fuse. And remember that the flak half-track got changed so that it does not require tearing down. It only requires a setup to be able to shoot, but it can instantly move out of the way. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. The satchel charge getting thrown there by Lenny. The Volksgrenadiers easily dodge that. Again, it has a very long fuse, so unless your opponent is very distracted or you have a snare, like a destroyed engine on a vehicle, the satchel charge isn't really going to do a lot. It's more useful to actually destroy stuff, say like the sandbags or emplacements if you see like a bunker. Although I don't think it one-shots a bunker. So the Volksgrens are forced to retreat as they do get engaged by 2 squads in the center. Storm Pioneers forcing away a a Penal Battalion. And we do have the flak half-track now on the field to support. It looks like ZeFish is going to be wanting to focus on the left-hand side. It's a bold move. It doesn't guarantee him any victory point lead, because on the right-hand side is where you have 2. But since this one is very close by, he can easily harass that point while still controlling the left-hand side, effectively. So, it's not by any means bad. I mean, I remember back in VCO days, you would see this happen a lot, and you could still win. I mean, yeah. It all depends on how you manage the game. Volksgrenadiers for ZeFish on the right-hand side, trying to recapture some more territory. We have another Storm Pile coming onto the field for ZeFish. Why, I don't exactly know, but Lenny continues to build his penal battalions and has gotten himself an anti-tank gun. The anti-tank gun is the light anti-tank gun from the Doctrine. He selected the urban defense tactics, which allows him to call in that small little thing. Also has the ability to build a forward HQ, but I somehow don't think that he's going to do that, although maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it does give you heal and defensive buff, I believe, and reinforce abilities, obviously. So anyways, Volksgrenadiers getting upgraded with Shreks. A little bit of a preemptive move there, and from our point of view, we can see that it is completely unnecessary for ZeFish to do that because, well, there's no vehicles on the field for Lenny. And, of course, having a Shrek on the squad obviously reduces his anti-tank capabilities. Light anti-tank gun getting some nice hits there on the flak half-track. The flak half-track forced to pack up and leave, taking, another nasty shot. It's actually getting cut off from its retreat path. It may actually go down to small fires here from the Penal Battalion. The flak half-track moving through the edge of the map. Going to take some shots there on the front of the truck. But it looks like it manages to scoot by and will be making it back home. Back at base, he does have the Mechanized Regiment headquarters to automatically repair. So unless the AT gun manages to get a nice shot, it's not going to. So a close call there for ZeFish, but he manages to keep his tank, well, not tank, the half-track alive. Penal battalions and conscripts, and even a combat engineer squad all surrounding the AT gun, so the AT gun will not be falling. A nice grenade barrage goes off right on top of all the squads. A lot of damage there. You saw the nice XP tickers, and one of the squads is forced to retreat. Second Penal Battalion and conscripts are still on the field. The conscripts obviously have the ability to merge. That allows them to keep the AT gun on the field almost perpetually. The conscripts do have to retreat to reinforce themselves, but yeah, I mean, it's a very nice thing about those conscripts. So ZeFish, he did lose one of the Storm Pile squads. I'll try and see if I can catch when that happened. Storm Pile. There you go. I mean, pretty sure it's nothing too important, but you know, we have the capability of catching it and putting it on later on. Well, we're gonna do that, right? More penal battalions getting built for Mr. Lenny, just spamming it non-stop. That's going to make it a total of 6 penal battalions. Just ridiculous. And you would think that the flak half-track would be ideal, but yeah, I mean, going for that light AT gun actually kind of switches the game around. There's so many penal battalions that you're not going to be able to stop them with the flak half-track alone, and then the AT gun gets on top of that. The penal battalions fight any infantry that tries to get to the AT gun. So, yeah. A very interesting decision here for Lenny. He does go for the medics back at base, gonna reinforce or, well, heal up his troops. Over on the right-hand side, ZeFish has managed to pretty much capture everything. He does leave the victory point decapped, and the 2 northern points did not get harassed. The Volksgrenadier squad is retreating. But yeah, I mean, he caps those points on the right-hand side and is now going to be pushing once again onto the right. Interesting. Infantry support gun on the field for Mr. ZeFish, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the pack howitzer and the infantry support gun that got changed in the last patch to have suppression properties, right? Or am I thinking of a different weapon? I'm pretty sure it's the support gun, right? I think. I think. I don't know. Well, whatever. So anyways, Lenny, having a ridiculous amount of infantry, able to recover territory ridiculously quickly, sends his penal battalions in all directions to control the right-hand side. The left-hand side is slowly falling to the OKW forces, the Volksgrenadiers and Stormpiles, trying to do their best. The infantry support gun is taking some shots at something, shooting in this direction and trying to hit the units capping the points over here, but, I mean, not gonna do too much, I don't think. Penal battalions and combat engineers moving over to the left-hand side. We also see Lenny spending his munitions in laying down wire all over the place. A nice little cheeky maneuver here. He lays down some wire, even though he didn't finish that one, but it forces the troops to path in this direction, so they're almost guaranteed to hit the mine. Penal battalions getting some nice volley fires going off on the Volksgrens. The Volksgrens are forced to backpedal and get themselves a little bit cut off from their retreat path. They are not in the best of angles, but the flak half-track does move up, gets a nice barrage going on the penal battalions. One penal battalion does get suppressed, the other one backpedals, but the AT gun is right there to support, gets a shot going on the flak half-track, but the flak half-track moves out of the way, and the Volksgrens were pushing forward on top of the penals, and forcing the AT gun to back off and move. We did see a mine getting laid down right there. A narrow hit there could have potentially detonated the mine, and exploded the penal battalion. Kind of weird though that you can only see one. Storm pilots with sweepers are on the field for ZeFish, so ZeFish is able to spot those mines and try to clear them out. He does not get an opportunity to clear them out as the penal battalions were right there, so they would have riddled the storm piles as they tried to clear it out. But the infantry support gun is laying down some shots in that direction. Again, it could potentially hit one of the mines, but I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Penal battalions pushing over to the left-hand side. AT gun following in tow. Oh, very narrow save there for Lenny. The infantry support gun did actually hit the mine, detonated the mine, but the anti-tank gun was just a little bit ways off, and it did not get caught in the blast. Volksgrenadiers, nice grenade barrage goes off on the penal battalion, trying to anticipate the movement, hoping that Lenny would have moved it to the left-hand side, but he didn't, so only one unit takes damage, and the volley, her grenade toss, ends up kind of whiffing a little bit. Oh, nice hit there by the infantry support gun. Look, that's a lot of kills. Penal battalion down to one man, forced to retreat. But again, Lenny has a lot of more penal battalions where that came from, so I'm pretty sure he's fine. It's two infantry support guns on the field for ZeFish, so he is wanting to combat that quite heavily. Jaeger light infantry also coming into play. That's going to help quite a bit against that with its very good long-range damage. So. Flak half-track pushing up. Anti-tank gun taking a shot at the flak half-track, forcing it to pack up. Places itself back a little bit ways and gets a barrage going on the penal battalions. The AT gun moves up once again. Infantry support guns taking some shots at a distance, but the flak half-track moves out of the way. It's not going to sit there and get shot in the face. Volksgrenadier squad retreating from the left-hand side. And yeah, and that's what happens. So again, Lenny, with the sheer amount of infantry that he is able to just go cap all around the map. A second AT gun does get called onto the field. It is barely moving in that direction right now, although actually it's at the same range of the other one. So that's going to make it even harder for the flak half-track to do a lot. We see Volksgrenadiers pushing over to the right-hand side. Infantry support guns are getting some shots at a distance at the capping units on the left-hand side. What are they targeting? Are they targeting the penals or... well, they're targeting penals, definitely, but are they targeting the victory point or the strategic? Shots flying... Nope, they're actually shooting over in this direction where we have line of sight. The Jaeger light infantry trying to stop the approaching penals. The penals will get up in their face. AT gun getting focused there by the infantry support gun. Forces it to pack up again and backpedal. The flak half-track is moving in that direction. And the infantry support gun throws barrages off in the distance, seeing if there's anything it could potentially hit. Another Storm Pioneer died, and I lost that once again. But we do see that another one is getting built for Mr. ZeFish. And Lenny proving that all you need is infantry, really. That is, you know, I suppose not necessarily a problem, but it is one of those points of contention in the game that spamming conscripts, spamming rifles and such, actually gets you very far. The balanced team and devs do want to promote the better use of combined arms to make it, you know, more interesting and such. But yeah, I mean, just having a lot of infantry is still very effective. And to his credit, Lenny isn't clumping up. I mean, he does have two squads moving around together, but most of them are just spread around. I mean, they converge in similar locations, but they're not moving together, you know, as a blob, which is what you would expect. Oh, nasty hit there on the Penal Battalion by the infantry support guns. Down to 2 men, forces a retreat. Let's see, it's got 6 kills on one, 2 kills on the other. Right-hand side, Penal Battalion trying to catch the Volksgrenadiers. It runs itself into a little bit of an outnumbering engagement, and the Volksgrenadiers hold their ground. Shrek flies in the direction. It pierces through the truck and does not hit anything. Penal Battalion loses one of its members, and the Volksgrens are clumped up, waiting for death. Jaeger light infantry pushes over to the left-hand side. Forced to backpedal again, but the infantry support gun is getting, oh, nice hits on the penals. One Penal Battalion gets pinned down, as I was right, it does have that effect where it can suppress and, well, essentially pin down. Does detonate or destroy the vehicle, so no more heavy cover in this area, but it forces a retreat. Infantry support guns once again getting more shots, and we see a third infantry support gun getting built for ZeFish. I mean, it seems to be rather effective, so it looks like he's going to go for that. The thing with Lenny is that he does not have a doctrine that allows him to call in any vehicles. I mean, looks like he booby-trapped the territory. Not sure which one it was. Oh, the fuel point over here on the right-hand side. Penal Battalion backs off a little bit. Looks like the Volksgrenadier squad is going to be the one to close in and get exploded. No, they skirt across. Wait, did he spot it with the sweepers or something? How does that work exactly? Doesn't the the booby trap like detonate whenever somebody strips into the zone? A trap can be placed on a point that will automatically attack enemy units who try to capture the territory. Automatically attacks a unit who attempts to capture the territory. The trap is arming time. If the points are to be captured during this time, it will cancel. Click and target and supply friendly. Yeah, I don't know. So it looks like sweepers work against the booby trap. Not aware of that, but well, there you go. Conscripts on the left-hand side trying to engage the infantry support guns. The infantry support guns back off a little bit into cover. There's a third one nearby, and a Volksgrenadier squad will get in the way. We do have 4 Volks on the field for ZeFish still, with the Jaeger light infantry to support, but damn, that is... I can't even count. 3, 6, 7. 7 Penal Battalions with a conscript to support and 2 AT guns. That is an army. Volksgrenadiers backpedaling as Penal Battalions get up close. They turn themselves around, throwing barrages of Shreks and rifles at the Penal Battalion. But again, they are unable to stop. Once again, ZeFish, you know, getting Shreks, which is fine. I mean, it's also only 1 Shrek, so you don't lose that much compared to a Panzer Grenadier squad. But yeah, I mean, all these Shreks are essentially useless right now because, you know, Lenny doesn't have vehicles. Would have probably been better spent in grenades. I mean, he does have the infiltration grenades and such, so, you know. Again, it's easy to say from this point of view because we know that there's no vehicles, but, yeah, I mean, you can probably expect at this point in the game, 20 minutes in, that a vehicle should be coming, and you're going to have your Volks have Shreks to be able to combat that. Lenny, finally deciding to tech, he actually goes for tier 2. So with tier 2, I would assume he's going to go for T-34s. Could go for a T-70 if he wanted to, but I mean, I don't see really the benefit of it. I mean, the T-70's more of a shock impact, you know, coming out very quickly onto the game before your opponent is ready with any type of anti-vehicle, and, you know, trying to catch those squats on the retreat. Left-hand side, big push here. Now, this is a blob. We got 3 penals and a conscript engaging a Volkswagen squad and Storm Pios. Looks like the squads are going to be fine. The Storm Pio squad is getting focused down here, down to 1 man, but it's a very healthy 1 man, so it's not going to be finished off. Infantry support guns taking some shots at... No, actually it was taking some shots at the right-hand side penal battalion. Big blob of penals getting up close and personal with the infantry support guns. The Volksgrenadiers trying to stop the penals from approaching. Manages to nail one of the penals with a Shrek, but again, the squads are forced to retreat. The infantry support guns are right there. They're going to turn themselves around to be able to get some nice shots. There goes a shot, misses completely, and the penal battalions are going to get themselves right in front of the base sector defenses. Incendiary barrage right on top of all the infantry support guns. The infantry support guns are going to have to move out of the way. The penal battalions are still sitting inside the base. There is nothing there to stop the troops. Well, there is one base sector, but the building itself that ZeFish built is actually blocking him. Infantry support gun returns fire and manages to scare them off, as the Storm Pios also shot a couple warning shots in their direction. And Lenny is finally forced to wow, really? So completely going against what I said. So it looks like Lenny is going to be building himself a T-70 of all things. I mean, I guess he's noticed that there's not a lot of heavy anti-tank, although he does not know that a Jagdpanzer has just hit the field. So yeah, that T-70 is going to have a hard time, and it's also going to have a difficult time since ZeFish knows, Lenny knows that ZeFish has Shreks. He's seen, I mean, at the very least he knows there's 2. We can see that there's 3. So, I mean, even with 1 Shrek, that's a decent threat against a T-70, so we'll see how well he controls it, how effective it becomes, but yeah, I mean, has to be a little bit careful. Right-hand side, Volksgrenadier squad goes for the fuel. It's going to have to recover the territory over here to connect it. Maybe capture this point just to have it. Volksgrenadier setting themselves up in the heavy cover. We see a big push here of infantry. That is just a lot of infantry. 2 AT guns. Those are 4 penal battalions, 1 conscript, and a combat engineer. Infantry support guns are getting a decent amount of barrages going on the approaching units. Getting suppression going on the rear squads. But the penals just continue to flood forward. The Jagdpanzer takes a shot at the T-70, misses completely. The T-70 managing to clear out 2 of the infantry support guns. Jagdpanzer trying to get itself in range to finish off the T-70. Volksgrenadier squad is right there. Down goes the T-70. So yeah, ZeFish managing to stabilize there, but he has lost all 3 of his infantry support guns. We have AT guns on the field and a lot of penals, just a lot of penals right on top of everything. Volksgrenadier squad tries to go for the cap of that infantry support gun. It was a futile attempt. You're capping right in front of your opponent. Your weapon teams are going to take additional damage, and Lenny is just grand theft infantry support gun. He captures all 3 of them with his infantry, and ZeFish is now in a very difficult spot. We also see that Lenny, well, I mean, if this was back in the day when I was doing the overlays, I would have completely broken my overlay. Look at that amount of units. He's under the bar already. And that is just the infantry. Something getting detonated there. I'm not sure what it was. Probably a satchel charge? Yeah. If it detonated like that, it was definitely a satchel charge. We can probably find, yeah, there we go. That's the squad that threw the satchel charge. But now with the infantry support guns on his side, I mean, Lenny doesn't really have too much to worry about the remaining forces of ZeFish as far as infantry goes. Jagdpanzer really the only real quote-unquote threat right now, but it is an anti-tank tank, so the infantry forces that he has, because all he has is infantry, well, they're relatively fine. They're not really going to suffer too much there. ZeFish back at base, trying to stabilize and recover, getting his units healed up as he built a battle group headquarters right in front of the base. And yeah, getting some repairs going on the Jagdpanzer. with the Storm Pioneer squad and the other squad. Penal Battalion right in front of the base, trying to cap. Getting assaulted by 4 Volksgrens at the same time. Satchel charge going off on the Volksgrens. The Volksgren need to move out of the way. Oh, that guy's pinned down. Oh, that was, I mean, both amazing and painful. The infantry support guns getting their suppression effect going. They actually pinned down one of the squads as the satchel got thrown at their feet. They were unable to move. Satchel goes off, and down goes the entire Volksgrenadier squad. That is unfortunate there for ZeFish, and he just cannot seem to catch a break. So Lenny proving that quantity over quality is really the right choice. Yeah, he's just dominating the game with a sheer amount of field presence. Right hand side, we do see Jaeger Light Infantries and Storm Pios moving around, trying to recover some territory as well. They managed to connect the fuel point on the right, and we're going to see some points getting capped, but yeah, Penal Battalions sneaking by right at the front of the base. They're going to go decap this point and probably the victory point. Victory points are 240 for Mr. I'm assuming Lenny? Yeah, that has to be Lenny. No. 240 for ZeFish. Yeah. And 439 for Lenny. Yeah, I mean, that makes more sense. Lenny has dominated the map control pretty much the entire game. Penal Battalions engaging Volksgrens at close range. Penal Battalion is taking quite a bit of damage. Jaeger Light Infantry coming up for support. Penal Battalion will have to move. Satchel Charge does go off once again, but again, long fuse, so the squad are able to dodge that. And yeah, like I said, down over on the other side where it killed the squad, it's because they got snared, they got pinned down, which I'm pretty sure ZeFish was not expecting to happen. But I suppose he forgot that there are 3 infantry support guns on the field that he gifted to Lenny. So yeah, I mean, Lenny, yeah, I mean, he's got this in the bag. I mean, you see now ZeFish essentially pinned into his base sector. Penal Battalions are pushing forward. They're actually getting themselves in range of the base sector flag emplacements, and they don't even care. They're too resilient, too tough, and they're not. They don't give a shit. Combat Engineer Squad retreating. Mine getting hit by the Yak Panzer apparently. The engine gets heavy engine damage, so it's very slow. We do have the AT guns on the field, but it does not look like the AT guns are inclined to push forward to try to finish off the Yak Panzer. Penal Battalions are not nearby. They are all on the other side of the map. We see them right there. Had they been on the left-hand side, they could have easily pushed to get rid of any infantry surrounding the Yak Panzer and finish him off. But yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity that did not happen. Infantry support guns gonna throw a triple barrage there at the Jaeger Light Infantry. Ooh, one of them does get hit, gets suppression going, and more barrages continue to go onto the point. The Jaeger Light Infantry are forced to crawl out of the zone unless they want to get themselves hit in the face. Volksgrenadiers trying to recapture some territory. Lenny just has so much all over the place. 3, 6, 7, 8 Penal Battalions in total. Conscript squad to boot. Combat Engineers still in the game. And the 3 infantry support guns, which are just, they have no right to be there. Look at that. Yeah. I mean, essentially what ZeFish needs is a heavy tank that can just power through the AT guns and destroy them. Because again, Penal Battalions can't do too much, and even the satchel, I mean, a tank should be able to move out of the way, but I don't think that's gonna happen. The Yak Panzer still getting repaired, still has a very damaged engine. Something gets hit there, probably a mine, I would assume. Right hand side, Lenny's just Uras forward with his Penal Battalions as they are able to now sprint. One Penal Battalion takes the brunt of the damage from the flak emplacement. Satchel charge goes off, emplacement goes down. And Penals are now all over the base. Incendiary barrage right on top of everything. Adding insult to injury, this Storm Pioneer squad is going to get burned. Volksgrenadier squad also getting versed. Invasion complete, says Mr. Lenny. Penal Battalion retreating as they are taking damage piecemeal here, but they are now able to just sit there. He even captured the remains of the flag emplacement and is now opening fire on the base sector buildings for ZeFish. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that the game is over. Half-track over here is getting bombarded there by small arms fire, going to be going down rather quickly. I mean, doesn't really actually matter, but yeah, there it goes. Getting a little bit more experience and damage going on. And the Jagdpanzer is going to come back and take care of the flak emplacement as well. It is no longer of any use to them. But of course, the entire flank is now open for Lenny. Satchel charge going off onto the base. The Volksgrenadiers decide to stand on top of the satchel charge. You know, that's ideal. They end up retreating. Damage goes off. More satchel charges going off in all directions. The Jagdpanzer trying to go for the crush. I think it actually did manage to get one crush there on one of the members. Battle group headquarters does go down to the satchel charge. The penal battalions end up retreating. And the Jagdpanzer finally with the help of a little bit of infantry, forces the retreat of the invading Russian forces. Jaeger light infantry retreating as well as it sees Russians running away from his base. Probably not the most, how I would say, the most comforting view. Oh, an infantry support gun died up in the north. How that died? Probably to the Jaeger light infantry. But we'll see if we can catch that later on. Not too important, but I mean, again, it doesn't really matter too much. Infantry support guns are returning fire there to the Jagdpanzer. The Jagdpanzer has to back off. I mean, it doesn't have to, but it's just sitting there. The north, remember. Again, it's just sitting there shooting at the conscript squad and not doing anything because it's a Jagdpanzer. It can't actually do anything. It's designed to take on tanks, not infantry. It has shots, armor-piercing shots rather than high-explosive shots, so yeah. Penal battalions on the left-hand side, capping some territory. We finally see a flak panzer on the field for ZeFish, the Ostwind, seeing if he can maybe combat the sheer amount of enemy troops that Lenny has, but something tells me that it's not going to be enough. It may be able to catch one squad or two out of position, but, well, I mean, Lenny was quick to react there, and the penal battalion retreats. Would have had to chase it down, gotten some nice crits to potentially take out the squad, and then the AT guns are moving in its direction, so it's a very high threat. Mines all over the place here. Lenny pushes forward. Lenny pushes forward as the Flak Panzer assaults. AT guns are now set up right in front of the Flak Panzer. The Flak Panzer will be able to survive those unless it sits there, because those are light AT guns, so they do damage, but they don't do a lot of damage. Jagdpanzer, not having too much luck, managing to hit a mine and skirting by another mine. A satchel charge is probably going to get tossed into the rear here. Yeah. Again, those are the types of snares that you can't really get away with. Away from. And down goes the Jagdpanzer for the ZeFish, putting the numerous amounts of nails in the coffin that Lenny built out of human parts of dead penal battalions. Also, when trying his best to clear out the light AT guns, manages to clear out one. The second one does manage to finish him off with a killing blow, and it goes out of control, crashes onto a tree, and down goes the Flak Panzer. So ZeFish not catching even one small break and managing to maybe kill off the AT guns. Nope. He just ends up losing everything. Jaeger, light infantry. It can't really cap the weapon. Oh, he's gonna go salvage the weapon. No, he decides that I'm getting shot at by infantry support guns. And again, the flood of Russians. The Russians rush into the base for Mr. ZeFish. ZeFish does not have a lot here that he can do against it. Ura forward onto the flak emplacement. Probably going to be throwing a satchel at it. Grenades go off in the direction of the penal battalions. One penal battalion gets killed in the explosion of one of its friendly satchel charges. But I believe at this point Lenny doesn't even know how many penal battalions he has, and if he loses any. Satchel charge is going to be going off in all directions. Munitions have been spent completely for Lenny, so that is about it. Does manage to destroy one more, and more hits all over the place. Russians all over the place. The Volksgrenadiers are just getting slaughtered. Down goes one squad. The Jaeger Light Infantry trying as best as they can. Flak emplacement does get recovered there by Lenny, but the troops inside do get killed. They end up going for the flak emplacement once again. They're going to try and fend off against it, but no, the members inside get killed once again. And the Volksgrenadier, with a Shrek, unsure what to do, runs and gets shot. Surrender now, says Lenny. But ZeFish is going to try and push him around with his truck. Loses his truck and no longer has anything on the field. He does have manpower, but you know that the game is over at this point. The flag emplacement does get recovered there by Lenny. Does call in another flak panzer, so he will be able to probably clear out that flag emplacement. Looks like he's focusing on the infantry a little bit right now. AT gun did get pushed forward, managing to get a shot there on the flag half track, but I'm sure it's gonna die. And ZeFish does not want to surrender, but I mean, we know it's evident, obvious that the game has ended a while ago. I mean, you can't even build anything without it getting shot as it enters the game. Infantry in full retreat for Lenny. He decides, you know what? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and build 2 T-34s because I have 615 fuel still in my bank after that. And, I can. And the Flak Panzer isn't really going to be able to do too much about that. Infantry support gun getting harassed there by the Flak Panzer may actually get cleared off, but it looks like the Flak Panzer is going on a killing spree. It's trying to crush as many infantry as he can. Ura does get activated. Howitzer barrage gets called into the zone. That is the one that you get more if you have more stored munition, and is the one that was notorious in the past for being able to essentially one-shot the US player base. That is no longer the case. It has been toned down. And even then, well, ZeFish didn't have a lot of munitions left in the bank. T-34 on the field. That's going to kill off the Flak Panzer. Lenny managing to keep the majority of his army alive. I mean, most squads do have only one member, but they stay alive. And with the tank right in front of the face of that Flak Panzer, ZeFish finally throws in the towel. He says, yeah, I know, I'm dead. So let's finish this off. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this ridiculous game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.